Good evening and welcome from Stade Gilbert Boudis here in France. It is the second leg of the Kangaroos tour. Sunny Tyre and Australia running out to a sold-out crowd here in France to back the European side playing in their first international game this off-season, led by the young Daniel Hellier in a new era for the EU. And what a way to kick things off against the Aussies. It is a battle that is going to see two teams bring the absolute best out of each other. Joining me in the box for tonight's SRL TV coverage of your Kangaroos tour, it is my good mate Josh Pretlove. And Pretlove, a lot of pressure on the shoulders of the Kangaroos, particularly for captain Sunny Tyre. A 38-30 upset loss against the Mediterranean, and you have to think another loss here tonight. That'll be Tyre probably done and dusted as a captain, so a lot of pressure on this game.
Yeah, absolutely. This game, there's a lot riding on it. As you mentioned, we did have the pleasure of calling said game, the Mediterranean game. It was great to see. But yeah, I mean, this looks like a pretty switched up, changed Australian side. So hopefully Sunny Tyre's got them firing on all cylinders tonight. Otherwise, yeah, it might be his last night as captain in the squad.
Oh, and there he goes. Made one of the best runs of his career, but yeah, a few minor team list changes. Caught in late by the Kangaroos captain, KCK moving to fullback, Chaz Dingo sliding into the centres. Josh Butterfield making his Australian debut in at the 6 jersey, 5'8". Very good under the, with the boot to the ball, 4 tackle, the green and gold. Trying to get inside the red zone, they do so through KCK. Luke Malchus and Chris Lord making up the props for Australia, 5th and last. Oh, I'm nervous, but here we go. Will Kay just takes a straight runner. Nothing doing on the end of that set there, but Pretlove, we saw unprecedented scenes in Italy on Monday. Big bumper from Prakash. But can the fairy tale be replicated tonight? The Europeans, I guess watching that Mediterranean game, this will give them a lot of confidence and hope that they can spring an upset of their own tonight.
Yeah, 100%. At the moment, the Kangaroos team, they're vulnerable. They went to Italy and they got beaten by a side that probably weren't expecting to be beaten by. So confidence is probably down. So this EU side is probably their best opportunity to actually pull off that upset. I'm keen to see how Daniel Hellier goes in his first outing as a captain. He's definitely been one that's been vocal about being a captain. So let's see if he can walk the walk as much as he's talked the talk.
Yeah, great point, Daniel Hellier. Oh, KCK takes that one. Will he go all the way to the house? He gets ankle tapped, but he's still going, stopping for no one. The green and gold will start off on the front foot. First try to the Kangaroos. Bloody oath, KCK needed that one. And Australia off to the flying start. TBC Live replay. And Pretlove, a moment of magic from the Seagulls fullback. A long-time veteran of this Aussie side, looking to try and make the one jersey his own for the World Cup. That's a way to make a good impression.
Absolutely, Sonny. I'm glad to see him back in that fullback position. He had a lot of ball and a lot of good involvements when he was at number 6, but just so far in his first 5 minutes, he's looked so much more comfortable in that fullback position, and we've just seen it there as he's made that coast-to-coast break, getting out of a tackle and ankle tapped. So I feel like shutting down KCK, it's early call, but I feel like shutting down KCK is going to definitely be key to this EU side getting some points on the board and potentially upsetting Australia.
Yeah, 6-0 is the score. Australia drawing first blood, but complacency not going to be in the psyche of the Aussies. They got off to a 12-0 start on Monday before eventually falling in that game. Captain Sunny Tyre dubbing it the worst loss in Kangaroos history. Never have they gone down to a Tier 2 nation in a 13-a-side game. And it was very disappointing, to say the least. Hoping to bounce back today, but there's plenty of footy. Do not write off the EU forward pass from the captain. Oh, hot seat gets hotter now. Pressure invited early on for the EU. Will they be able to score their first points off this set? Lennox Prakash alongside Sneeko Balbroa in the props. That is going to be a trench battle between them, Malchus and Lord. Marcus Square playing our fullback. Darts through, brought down by Kay and Butterfield. Second tackle, early look. Oh, Sneeko, I thought he was in there, but he gets an offload. Maverick Keller playing at 9 tonight. Right side, they'll shift it wide. They could be on here, the Europeans. Caleb J wrapped up. Excellent tackle from Dingo. Ponkston there to back him up. Dingo playing at 3 tonight. Oh, it's inside there, straight to Logan, guys. And the EU will get on the board. Their first points of the game. Logan, guys, what a try. And that is a way to start it off for the Europeans, Josh.
100%, Sonny. That's a beautiful try. That outside-inside ball just to get Logan Geis in space here. We're going to see it again. Just that draw and pass there. But great way to get the EU side on, the EU fans on their feet. This French crowd is going nuts for that one there.
Yeah, and a big buongiorno to all our French fans. Is that even how you say hello in French? Oh, jeez. But yeah, what a start for the Europeans, and now the Aussies maybe feeling a bit of pressure. That mistake from Tyre costing them dearly. I already know he's going to be copping it in the chat, but 6-all is the score. Your second leg of the Kangaroos tour. The heavyweight clash of the week to round off your international games on Monday. It was the Mediterranean 38-30 over Australia. Tuesday, the Kiwis 28-6 over the Cook Islands. And then Samoa 40-6 over Tonga. We will have Ireland versus Wales. Oh, we would have just had it as the precursor to this game. The curtain raiser, if you will. Of course, last night, the English just doing enough to get over the Scots in an epic battle that was. 20-16 final score. Could we see another upset on the cards here tonight if the Europeans can make history, get a win over Australia? How this changes the game, especially for international footy. Oh, beautiful ball out to Marcus Square. And it's picked off from Luke Malchus. The Aussies get to it first. And just miscommunication on that one, but Australia needed to get something back. And Pret Love, who do you think's going to stand out tonight for the Aussies? Who do you think needs to be the one? Could it be Vice Captain Will Kay? A lot of experience, Premiership winning captain. Could he be the one to separate the two sides tonight?
I definitely think it's going to probably be the back three. Obviously, we've seen KCK stamp his authority on the game so far with that early try and that long distance run. I think Chaz Dingo also needs to be one that steps up today as well.
Oh, Ponkston, he'll try and squeeze through. Ponkston turned on his back. Sneeko with a try-saving effort. Dom Ponkston, the former European fullback, got past two defenders. But third time's not the charm. Delaney there to wrap the legs up. Sneeko, what a tackle it was. But one more roll of the dice for the Kangaroos. Fifth and last, they drop it. Butterfield, it's a grubber straight to KCK, but they'll wrap him swarming in the tackle. And great goal line defense from the EU, Josh. They needed to make that play.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd probably say a little bit unlucky there from the Australian side to not get the ball back with 6 more tackles. It did look to see that he did play at that one there, but yeah, look, Australia's no strangers to interesting referee decisions, as we did see on Monday evening.
Referee decisions and team list selection decisions. A bit of criticism.
Nothing away from the EU defense, though. They were on.
Yeah, and the thing about this game, the pressure is truly on the shoulders of Australia. So the EU, if they don't get it done tonight, well, there's no real expectation on them to win. If the Kangaroos lose, I mean, that is... I don't even want to think about it, to be honest, but questions will be asked. Don't even know if Tyre could make it past this game. There's a lot riding on it. 9 seasons in the making, he's waited. But understanding that the jersey comes first, and if you're not the one to lead and get results, get the job done, then you have to do what you got to do for the Shield. But it means a lot. Third tackle. Do not write off the passion of this European squad. KCK steps one. Gets him a good look inside the 20. Australia slowly building momentum. Heading towards the 5th tackle. What is the option? Numbers both sides. I think that's Butterfield on the left. They go right. Tyre drops his lollies. And the French crowd giving him some stick there. Couldn't get it away in time. Another one goes begging inside the red zone. This could be dangerous. Wells on the return. And it gets away from Australia once again. Just under 15 minutes played on your SRL TV coverage. It is 6-all. The EU currently level with Australia. The Kangaroos hoping, Sunny Tyre praying that they do not let this game fall. It is a neck and neck contest at the moment. Nothing separating these two sides. And Marcus Square is tasked with a huge responsibility at the fullback jersey tonight. Weaving in and out, Sneeko Balbroa. A good opening stint for Sneeko on this one, Josh. He's probably going to be prevalent in tonight's performance for the EU.
Absolutely. I mean, and Sneeko's been quite instrumental for this EU side in previous seasons as well. So I'm not surprised that Sneeko's one that's going to stand up for this EU squad.
Yeah, and he was the captain, but ultimately deciding to step down. And luckily for the EU, he did decide to remain on for this season. So it does a lot to bolster their forward pack. Alongside Igor Maikazi, who's had an absolute blinder the past 2 seasons for the Dolphins. Jackson Chapman playing on the wing for them tonight as well. He's one that stood up this season, playing wing. Oh, and Sneeko gets absolutely levels the Kangaroos vice captain Will Kay. That's going to be one that he'll remember. 5th and last, straight to the corner. Jackson Chapman tries to sneak around the outside. Right idea, but Casey K there to plug it quick. Out of position though. If they get it out to the fullback, could be dangerous, but Wellesley takes it up. And the Europeans defensively, Josh, it's been a bend don't break effort, and they've done a good job so far.
Absolutely. I just want to take it back to that Sneeko bro hit for a second there. I believe there's a bit of vengeance in that hit there. Oh dear.
Oh no, sorry to cut you off, Josh, but that's a tough call for the Europeans. I didn't think that was a forward, but hey, we're not complaining. we could use some calls, so we'll take that one. But the EU will not be happy. But the Kangaroos need to make it count. They've had a lot of chances inside the red zone. Forward pass yet again. 2 unforced mistakes from both sides, and they just need to settle it down a bit, Josh.
Yeah, absolutely. It seems like the referee and touch judges today are very on the ball when it comes to forward passes. So I think pushing for those late passes, it might be one of these teams' undoing today.
Yeah, hopefully not an overzealous approach on the forwards. But the officials wanting to crack down, keep the game by the books as much as they can. Jaeger Maikazi runs it straight at Luke Malkus. Malkus, a long-time SRL Kangaroos legend. Great to have him alongside Chris Lord. A pack pairing we saw in State of Origin for the Maroons. Oh, and straight into the booty. Delaney kicks it into his teammate. And that one gets away from the EU. Another unforced mistake. Inviting pressure for the green and gold to try and stamp their authority as we enter the second quarter of this game. Here from France. It's a great venue to play at. We've seen Pacifica take on EU a couple of times at this ground. I believe the first time Australia and Europe have done battle here. Will Kay straight through the middle, offload to Milo Kerrigan. Milo Kerrigan on the bench, coming off into the props alongside Jackson Allison. Will Kay, couple post-contact meters, 3rd tackle, wide dish out to Walmsley. James Thorne, Aussie number 9. The best hooker in the game, Josh Butterfield. He'll try and stamp his authority, and Butters will get across. Great try there on debut. Josh Butterfield from the Newcastle Knights. 1-on-1 with the opposing EU defender, and the Kangaroos strike back, Josh.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a great way to strike back there. Not quite sure what the referees were wanting to double check there. It did look like a pretty clear-cut ball ground situation, but this is definitely a great way for Australia to hit back, especially if Thorne can get this conversion there, make it a one-score game.
Yeah, and James Thorne, 5 from 5 off the kicking tee on Monday. 100% kicking record so far. Can he keep it intact? He'll try and swing it. Oh, just too much to the left. So the Kangaroos will hold a 4-point lead, 10-6 over Europe. And just the mistakes costing the Europeans. And you've got to say, Pretlove, if the EU can just minimise those errors, those unforced mistakes, I mean, take that aside, they've played a pretty good game.
Absolutely, they look dangerous every time they do get the ball, especially in the Australia half there. So if they can tidy up these errors, I probably wouldn't be comfortable if I was Sunny Tyre.
Oh, by far, no comfort at all, especially after that Mediterranean game. I think I've got a bit of PTSD after that game, to be honest, Pretlove. There's a lot of pressure now, and it's just multiplied ever since that game. But this is what comes with being a Tier 1 captain. You are expected to deliver results. Sunny Tyre getting the team list wrong on Monday. Hands up. I did get it wrong. This Aussie side, there is no excuse for them not to get it done. KCK, what a performance he's having in this first half. He wants to make that fullback jersey his own for the World Cup. He's doing a good job so far. 58 metres gained just outside the red zone. Australia in the pocket. Down to Butterfield. Oh, and it's 6 again. It's 6 again for Australia. Coven Walmsley all the way to the house, and the Kangaroos, off the back of a potentially controversial call, will punish the Europeans once again. Pretlove, a bit hard done by, some might say, but Walmsley taking advantage, shrugging off one, getting past square, and the big unit over for the Aussies' third try of the night.
Absolutely, that's just textbook playing to the whistle there. Walmsley didn't hear anything, didn't hear the referee say anything, and he went through, and look at that, Australia are now up 14-6. So definitely a good result so far. They definitely need to keep some more pressure though. They probably wouldn't start coasting just yet.
Yeah, the memory's still playing from Monday. It's a fresh wound, but hopefully tonight can be a bit of a bandage over it, because the Aussies find themselves up by 10. 16-6. Australia leading Europe. Second leg of the Kangaroos tour next week. The Aussies will travel to Great Britain, or they'll play against Scotland and Ireland next week. And a lot riding on this tour. The Kangaroos wanting to build momentum for the World Cup, and with an extended side, 7 games up your sleeve, this is the ideal preparation for them, but you don't want to see it go to vain if you're an Aussie supporter. But the Europeans, we know what they're capable of, and some unlucky moments have not helped their case tonight, but plenty of time for them to clean it up. Only down by 10. 26 minutes gone. Reverse inside out play could be dangerous. Butterfield doing a good job to hold on to it. Shaq attack there to make the tackle. He will be hosting the after party. DJ Shaq Diesel, so stay tuned if you're here at the ground in the stadium. A post-match function, but that one fizzling out towards the end there. Pretlove, now the Europeans, a great look to try and make something happen. They'll try it. They'll swing it wide. And the EU not afraid to throw it around now.
No, definitely not. That last pass may have been just one pass too many there. Looked to be some space right in front of him there. But look, this is a good opportunity for EU. That last tackle option from Australia was not great. That lack of communication, I guess we'll say. So yeah, if EU can capitalise on this, we'll definitely have an interesting game.
Fourth tackle inside Aussie half. Yegor Maikazi. Apologies to Yegor. I always pronounce it wrong, I think. Yegor Maikazi. The best second rower in the game at the moment. In form, and what he brings to this European forward pack. Ponkston playing with fire. Letting it bounce. But it's drawn Marcus Square to the mark. If they can try and exploit a line break. They were hoping to do so through Milo Kerrigan. To no avail. Second tackle now. Australia back through. Lockie Cox, the right edge, second rower. He's still going. He's trying to get it out towards Corey Bell. Corey Bell shrugs off one. Beautiful lead up play there for Belzer. The Europeans get off him. Come on, call the penalty. Here we go. Xavier Armando over for another. And the Aussies, 3 unanswered tries to the good, and Pretlove. There we go. That's the Kangaroos we know.
Yeah, absolutely. It seems that they've found second gear here. They're definitely looking a lot more confident now. Um, but again, we obviously saw the dismantlement of Australia last or Monday. So I'm not too sure what to expect to come next. I'd like to see Australia keep the pressure on, but EU also do have to step up a little bit here, holding the ball. Um, I guess just making too many errors and not completing their tackles properly, as we've seen both Snicko and Igor with massive post-contact meters.
Yeah, and those two are so pivotal for this European forward pack, and it was great news for Daniel Hallier and the EU selectors to know that Snicko and Igor did want to play for EU this season, this campaign. They were in the lineup for the green and gold, but they wanted to remain here at Europe at least for one more season now. If we could see them in a World Cup squad, it's hard to tell. I mean, anyone could be on the table by the time we get to that process, to that stage, but they want to stand up and show the green and gold what they're made of, and they're gonna have to. Alongside Lennox Prakash, Kieran Wells, Jake Scott, he'll be coming off the bench as well. Well, he is off the bench. Shout out to Jake Scott, his final season in the SRL. Hopefully some great moments for him to enjoy on this final ride home into the sunset for one of the Queensland greats. I wish I picked him for Origin last season if I knew that this could be his last. He deserves an honour selection, but the EU, they are not out of this fight by any means. You never know what could happen in the SRL. The Aussies up by 16 at the moment. Maybe looking to just try and run down the clock till half time. Get the breather in, readjust. Caleb J off the return. And the Kangaroos trying to shut it down defensively. Oh, Logan Guys does a good job to hold on to that one. But Pretlove, the EU attack, it's lacking a bit of gusto in it. That's probably due to all the defensive effort that they've had to make.
Absolutely. Sorry.
There we go.
Sorry. Bit
Nah,
of
you're right.
technical difficulties. Yeah. They've made some big defensive efforts. You kind of see they're starting to get a bit fatigued. Australia starting to, I guess, run a little bit rampant with them. And the fatigue is just allowing for, I guess we'll say, silly mistakes here, as that one they could have turned fatal.
Yeah, I thought it was a knock on, but off the dome, referee ruling play on. A big kick downfield. This could be dangerous. KCK nearly takes that one into touch, but disaster averted for the Kangaroos. And the EU. You know, still a lot of time left in this one, but a try before halftime would go a long way. But now, whether it's the discipline or whether it's the fatigue starting to settle in, and it's creeping into their game, and the Kangaroos now like an animal stalking its prey. They know the EU are on the back foot. They're feeling a bit gassed at the moment. And another set to defend from their own half. And how good is the Kangaroos tour logo? Big shout out to you, Pretlove, our groundsman for tonight. He's the one that painted that on there on the field. And it's a great moment. This Kangaroos tour, the first in the SRL to ever be done. Xavier Demando. What a stint he's having from the right centre spot. He's already got a try to the good. Can he make it two here tonight? Lockie Cox inside the red zone. 35 gone here. Numbers both sides. They go midfield. Milo Kerrigan just takes a one-out run to set Australia for the kick. It might be a double pass out to Butters. Yes, it is. Butterfield sends it towards the corner. Pongston's looming. It's taken from Caleb J. Cool, calm, and collected from Caleb J. Pretlove. That was a great take from Caleb.
Absolutely. As we see Shaq attack, he gets a big break there. We've got a couple minutes left till we get to halftime, so EU are definitely going to get on the board before we do get to that break there.
And this could be the one. Jake Scott, what a run. He is an EU legend in this part of the world. First tackle, the EU. Could they potentially get a try before halftime? Australia are going to have to hold their line because the EU are knocking on the door. And could they strike through? Igor Maikazi. He'll get them closer. Third tackle, looming. Daniel Hallier. Nice dish. Oh, square was over, but he passes it to Delaney. Marcus Square in for all money, but still 2 rolls of the dice left for the Europeans. Guys offload away to Kieran Wells. Big kick coming up for the EU, 5th and last. Where is it going to go? Who is going to place it? They drop it in the pocket. It's Daniel Hellier with a straight run. And the Aussies will survive that set. That was a great set from the EU. Pretlov, Marcus Square was over, but team first mentality gets the ball away and ended up costing them points off that set.
Absolutely. I mean, there was a very good set from EU. They got down into the red zone. Last tackle option, bit questionable. Running it, probably not the right choice. But we saw some good runs. Oh, dear.
Ooh, and Thorny. That's why you got to be careful when you play makeshift wing. He hit a cheeky step there, but just didn't give himself enough space to work with.
Looks like he was trying to goose step the touch judge and stepped into touch.
Yeah, just flexing on the touchy a bit there, but 30 seconds left in this first half. The Europeans with a great chance to score before half time. If they can get a line break, this will go a long way. Could they give it to Marcus Square? Can they give it to one of their outside backs? 10 seconds left in the first half. Marcus Square, could he be the one? Try saving effort, 22-6. Australia leading. See you in the second half. Good evening, g'day, and welcome back to the second leg of the Kangaroos tour here from France. It is the Kangaroos with a 22-6 lead over the European brethren. Joining me, Sunny Tyre in the box, is Josh Pretlov. And Pretzel, what a game it was. The EU in that first quarter of the game, just neck and neck with the Aussies, but that second quarter, Australia, they were just pouncing on their opportunities, finding themselves with a bit of a healthy lead, but nothing safe at the moment. Oh, and it's picked off. Sunny Tyre gets it. 6 again for Australia.
Yeah, absolutely. And a penalty as well.
Was that hell yeah that was on me? Hell yeah, get off me, mate. Don't you do none of those grubby tactics. Nah, I'm joking. Big love to hell yeah. But yeah, that one unlucky. They've had a few unlucky incidents in this game, Pretlov, and unfortunately sometimes it is like that. You know, you can't help those sorts of things, but it just has not helped the EU at all.
No, definitely not. But look, we've still got just under 40 minutes of game to play.
Oh, beautiful flick ball out to Chris Lord. Sorry to cut you off, Pretzel, but Chris Lord will score for the green and gold once again. Australia on the board to start the second half. TBC Live replay. You can't really see it from here, but Will K, unselfish act. Surprise, surprise, nah, jokes. Chris Lord gets over, beautiful dish. And the Aussies starting off the way you want to start. Maybe a bit of a tough call off the back of that 6 again for Australia. But at this point, Pretzel, if you're the EU, does the game plan go out the window? Do you just go out there and play what you feel out there on the field, down by this margin?
I mean, I probably wouldn't necessarily throw the game plan out the window here. Like, as you mentioned at the beginning of the game, there was no expectations on EU. All the expectations going into this clash sat solely on Sunny Tyre and the Kangaroos. So they've still got plenty of game. They've still got plenty of time to make it work. And they're building towards the World Cup in season 10. So I definitely think stick to the game plan. And then if it doesn't work this week, you can always readjust for next week.
Yeah, and that's what it's all about, building for the World Cup. And if anything, this is a game Australia is expected to win, so still plenty of time left to go. But if anything, when we talk about this Kangaroos tour after the Mediterranean loss, this game is more about making up for lost ground for Australia, and by far it's not done. But this EU side, if they can clean up their footy, just take it one play at a time, one set at a time. You know, try not to force anything. Try not to play with too much urgency and desperation. You do need that focus. Anyways, I could have stopped dribbling. 5th and last now. 44 minutes gone here from France. Perpignan. What a bougie name. A bougie place to be broadcasting from. But it's a great thing about the Kangaroos tour, Josh. All expenses paid from the commission. We get to travel to some great countries. We were in Italy Now we're in France. We head to Scotland next week. And it's a great spectacle for the SRL, having this Kangaroos tour, giving these northern nations, you know, a run against a tier 1 side like the Kangaroos.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and this whole international period, especially the changes that have recently been made, has been great so far, especially with the Pacific Championship going on down in the Southern Hemisphere. Getting with those Pacific Islands getting an opportunity to face another tier 1 side. New Zealand's tier 1, correct?
Yep, yeah, the
Yeah,
Kiwis
yeah, I
are
did
the
get that
only
right.
other tier 1 nation, and Samoa, man, you guys got quite a talent pool. Who knows, if you guys win the World Cup, you might have to get promoted to tier 1 as well. But no, it's great to see how many tier 2 nations we now have. Wales, Scotland, England, Tonga, Cook Islands, Mediterranean, the new nations added for the international calendar. And it's quite the timing, isn't it? There's been a lot of talk in NRL world about origin and international eligibility. And the funny thing about that, Pretlove, just a little tidbit behind the scenes for Kangaroo selection. There were quite a few players turning down the
Ooh.
green and gold that are well renowned in the origin arena. So it wasn't the ideal selection process for Australia, but there is no excuse for them not to win and not to dominate this Kangaroos tour, the biggest talent pool in the league. But the EU, here they are, the underdogs. Can they begin a comeback? A try will go a long way just to inspire something for them. The young Daniel Hallier leading his EU side alongside Lennox Brakash, picked off from Sonny Tyre. There you go. He's done something. He's contributed. And it gets away from the EU once again. Pretlov just forcing their hand. And at this point, they probably have to keep doing that. There's no point in playing safe. You've got to play a bit risky.
Absolutely. When you're down, when you're looking at 22 points down, you do have to start experimenting a little bit.
As we see Butters off that dish from Ponkston. The two Newcastle Knights linking up on that play. 4 tackle. The green and gold through Will K. Oh, gets absolutely pumped by Sneeko. Remind me to give Sneeko a tenner after this game. 5th and last. Big kick. Marcus Square does well to take it, but Xavier Damano wraps him up straight away. Pretzel, I've got to give Xavier some shine here tonight, because from that right centre spot, he's had his moments. He's been involved. A try, some line breaks, and a defensive stop like that to force a dropout.
Absolutely. The Australia side, they seem to be firing on all cylinders today. It seems that Mediterranean game definitely kind of lit a fire under them. Whether it was Sonny Tyre trying to save his own skin, or whether the Australian team decided they wanted to perform today, I guess we'll never know. But they look like a whole new side today.
Oh, Pretzel, I can't tell you how nervous I was heading into this game. But yes, this is a bounce back statement game for Australia, and nothing less of a win will suffice you. Oh, how long can Tyre survive the hot seat? A lot of pressure on, but the Kangaroos in prime position to get their first win of the Kangaroos tour. Under half an hour left from this game here in France. Caleb J, another great take, but wrapped up as soon as he meets the ball. Out to Delaney now. Oh, and Ponkston trying to drag him out into the field of play. But Pretzel, your early thoughts on any standouts in this game from either side?
Yeah, I mean, look, if we look towards Australia, as you mentioned, Demando's been really good. He stood out pretty well. KCK has been solid. I would have to give some shout out to Kieran Wells. He's been someone that's been a bit behind the scenes in this game. He's had a couple of really good runs, and it's helped them get some line breaks and get into some good position. And as much as it pains me to say it, Daniel Hallier also does deserve a bit of praise today as well. He has gone across that field everywhere, and he's held up his own pretty well today, especially for his first outing as captain.
Yeah, he's done a great job, and it was on short notice too, so it's not about the result for the Europeans tonight. It's all about just getting out there, getting some reps under your belt. And there's been glimpses of brilliance from this European side. If we can see them play to their full potential, man, this is a team you don't want to sleep on. Don't let the scoreline fool you. But the Kangaroos trying to put the game to bed off this set. I'm going to call game if they score next. because the time ticking down, it is not the favour of the Europeans. And it will be interesting to see how they'll line up next week, what sort of teamless changes they will make, because they will be taking on the Mediterranean in one of the most highly anticipated battles of international footy. Once a part of the EU, the Mediterranean on their own now, alongside the EU. That's going to be a battle, isn't it, Josh? That's going to be juicy.
Absolutely. It did cause some troubles throughout the off season when it was announced that Mediterranean was going to split off and
No.
form their own team. It did.
No. Nah, yeah, it was a bit of a process, and that's, you can understand why the Europeans, it's come at the expense of their talent pool, but it's the same situation with Great Britain, Pacifica, that sort of thing. And the Europeans fielding a great team nonetheless. They have what it takes. They really do. But tonight, it has been Australia's game so far. And credit where credit's due, because Xavier Armando, he's been a standout. And making these teamless changes, I think it's just brought a new dynamic for the Kangaroos. A lot more clinical than last Monday when we saw some unforced mistakes, silly errors that saw them go down in the feet. But as we enter the final quarter of the game, Will Kay, what are you doing? Get out of the way. Oh, big fan, never mind, or shut up. It shuts down pretty quick though. And that one,
I think he got a glimpse of Snicko, bro. He's had his number twice so far this game, and to be honest, that small little man, he can hit hard. So I'd probably also drop the ball if I saw him lining up.
Yeah, that'll have you taken the long way home if you see Snicko. He's, man, for his stature, he's one of the hardest hitting staunch props in the SRL. So I got to give him a raps as well. Look good in the green and gold, I reckon, alongside Igor Markazi. But Jake's third tackle coming up. The Europeans just under 60 played, looking for their first try of the second half. And there you go, Igor Markazi. He's over, but he's turned on his back. KCK there to turn him over alongside the teammate in Chad Johnson, I believe it is, yep. And there you go. Igor Markazi, the closest the EU have been to points in the second half, but one more roll, two more rolls of the dice. Oh, big hit there, Delaney cops one. Chris Lord smacks him up. Fifth and last now, hell yeah, drops his lollies. And oh, that one was building into something, but turns into nothing at the end. Right idea, but just not the execution. But you can't fault Hell Yeah for trying. They got to do something, Pretzel, and Hell Yeah is trying to lead by example, spark some inspiration into his team.
Absolutely. I mean, like, you can't really fault what he has done, because you're right. He has been trying to spark this team. Not that they haven't been not that they haven't been sparked up, but yeah, look, head up, Hell Yeah.
What a run!
You can't do everything. That is a great run.
Sorry to cut you off, Pretzel, but yeah, what a run. Xavier Armando setting it up for KCK. Oh, Malcolm's taken off the ball. It's Snicko with another victim to his list. If he's not going to get a result, he's going to walk away with something, and that's going to be a few bodies laid out on the field. But Big Malco back up and at him. And Snicko Balbro, I think, will be off now. Thank goodness. Jokes. Oh, but yeah, when you talk about pride in the jersey and passion for your team, Snicko, he embodies that for the EU. He is a polarizing figure, some might say, but he does care. And he does have a lot of love and passion for this EU side that he has had a tremendous part of being a player. It's all happening. Marcus Square made me lose my words. And like The Rock, I was tongue twisting there. If you smell what Marcus Square was cooking, it was a beautiful try, Pretlove. Great stuff from the Europeans.
Absolutely. I mean, like, wrong-footed KCK there, and had Chaz Dingo and Dom Pongston both in pursuit. So it's not much more else you can do there. Have three of the best fullbacks in the league chasing after you, and you still get away.
Yeah, it was looking like Tom and Jerry there. Just couldn't catch him in time. Marcus Square doing a great job. gets first points in the second half for the EU. Back out to a 3-score game. Just
I gotta take some
under.
word from our mate Chris Lord. It is early days here, and I'm sure that Snicko and Igor will probably be reinforcing that with that EU squad, taking
Oh, yeah.
their fellow Dolphins mantra.
Yeah, they might be trying to get into the ear from the sideline. Try and get into the psyche of Chris Lord, but that was a beautiful try from Marcus Square. Coast to coast effort. And you're right, getting past the likes of Ponkston, Bell, Dingo, KCK, I mean, geez, that's an effort in itself. Great try from Marcus Square. Former Warrior making the move to Redcliffe next season alongside Snicker and Igor. Logan, guys, what a performance tonight from the number 12 defensively. He's made a lot of tackles. Oh, it's an intercept straight to Luke Malchus. Ball hawking that one. And Big Malco, great pick there. The Kangaroos with a chance to counter with one of their own now. Justin plays in at the 11th spot in the second half. I can't believe I forgot to mention it. Milo Kerrigan was out in the props, back on the bench now as Malchus and Coven Walmsley round off the forward pack. Round off the props for Australia. Big Coven Walmsley, he'll try and barge across for a double, and the big unit gets through once again. Big Coven back on in the trenches. 2 tries to his name. What a performance from the big forward, Josh.
Yeah, absolutely. He was charging over the line there. No amount of defense would stop that man.
Green lights here in France. That one will hush the crowd a bit now. They found a bit of life after that previous try scored from Marcus Square, but Coven Walmsley bringing them back down to earth now. Kangaroos over the 30-point mark. Thorny from the left sends it straight across the middle. Kangaroos leading 34-12. And we do have an unwritten rule about writing teams off early, but this deficit, it might just be too little too late at this point. But the Europeans can keep their heads held high, Josh, because there were some tough calls against them. And there were some unforced mistakes that they made. So next week against the Mediterranean, if they can cut out those simple lapses and focus, if they can cut out those silly errors, this could be a different looking side next week.
Absolutely. I mean, like you said, the errors there, even the errors from both sides, Australia did manage to tidy up in the game. But if EU can tidy up some of these errors and be a bit more cohesive, I definitely think that there will be a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah, and I don't want to take anything away from the Met on Monday, but I feel like it was a similar story for Australia. Unforced mistakes and maybe not getting so much rub of the green, but there's no excuse, as I've said before, and an expected win for Australia to finally get their Kangaroos tour off on the right direction. Just need to run out this clock, the Europeans, with nothing but pride to play for in this game. So some consolation points on offer. Who can grab this one by the horns? Oh, Delaney cops it from Malchus. The 2 former Sharks teammates. Oh, jeez. You wouldn't think they're former teammates with that hit, but Malchus, that's how he plays. He doesn't care. He's unrelenting. He is an animal, an absolute machine. And I hear he's quite the, what's the word I'm looking for? He's quite the cook, quite the chef as well, quite the butcher as well. So, watch out for Big Malchus. You think he's good with a footy ball? Wait till you see him with a cleaver. Delaney now sends it downfield. Ponkston off the return. The former EU fullback steps through straight away to break their hearts once again. Dom Ponkston will drop a 40 banger on the EU. And pure class from Dommy P. Take a bow. He is the Newcastle fullback. His second game for the Kangaroos. And now his second try in as many games. Beautiful try there, Pratlove.
Yeah, absolutely. Just wrong-footed some of the defense there and just streaked away to the post, like to right underneath the crossbar there. This probably should be the easiest kick of James's night tonight. To get that 40 bomb, as you said there.
Yeah, and I probably should have given myself the kicking duties. I would have loved to take in an easy one from in front. Give me a bit of points there, but 40-12 is the score. And no, I'm not going to take conversions. I don't want to cost us any games. So James Thorne, he's been an absolute gun at the...
It's okay, Sonny. I can teach you how to take conversions. I'm 100% record so far.
You are. And you know who else is? Lonnie Lawrence. I am being outperformed by 2 second rollers. And, oh, geez. My head is in the sand. But 40-12. And James Thorne, yeah, he's been great off the boot, especially last Monday. So, yeah, I'm definitely not taking any conversions this tour. I don't know. Maybe if we have a throwaway game, we'll see. But I doubt it. But the Europeans now, they just need to try and, I guess, stop the bleeding. Could be another try or two in store for them. But Australia have just done what we've expected of them. This is the Kangaroos that we expect to see this tour. Sin bin warning given away. I wonder what's the rule about sin bins. If someone gets a yellow card, gets sent off, would there be an emergency call-up? I don't think so, but time ticking down here. Pretlov, your thoughts on the EU, your thoughts on what they have to do in their next game to bounce back?
Yeah, I mean, look, obviously this is a big loss, but when you're going up against a tier 1 nation like Australia, you never really know what you're going to get. So I don't think they need to change too much based off of this performance. I'm not really sure. That's definitely a hell yeah decision to make. I'm sure he and the rest of the EU leadership team will probably review what went wrong. They probably know a bit more than I do about their own team, so I'm not sure they need to do, but definitely more of that.
Yeah, sorry to cut you off, Pretlov, but that's well said. And yeah, plenty to look forward to next week for Howyer, for Lennox Prakash as well. Logan, guys, never say die attitude. Line break, dish out to Howyer. And Tyre there to give him a tackle. Cheeky rub of the headgear as he gets up. Plays the ball. Second now. The EU shifting it out. Anthony Delaney tries to poke his head through. Wrapped in a wall of green and gold jerseys. The Aussies sporting the iconic gold jersey for tonight's game. As the EU swing it out wide. Zach Brown, number 4. A good cut back in field. KCK up at the mark. 5th and last now. What is the kick option? A good bomb will do a lot for them. Delaney almost inch perfect. Taken by KCK. Wrapped up as soon as he meets the ground. And that was a great bomb from Delaney, Pretlov. This is a good chance for the Europeans to get consolation points. Potentially last try of the game.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is a good way to end the game. Especially if you can't get the win, you might as well keep attacking and have the last say in the game. Get the last try of the game. Last points.
As they go midfield, Jerome Daly back on through the middle alongside Marshall, who's the recipient of the offload. 30 metres away from the try line. Come on, Europe. Let's get a try in there. The home fans would love to see it. The EU fans, one more to cheer about before the night is said and done. They'd love it. Marcus Square, can he be the one? Wrapped up. Butterfield. And I'm not sure who that was. I think Justin plays there to make a tackle. 5th and last. 5 away from the line. EU looking for one more try in this game. It's a beautiful grubber. Oh, Zach Brown. Oh, if it was a wet night with some dew on the grass, maybe he would have slid across with momentum, but just stopped and halted with that catch there. So final few minutes winding down. The Kangaroos will get their first win of the Kangaroos tour, 1-1, where they will play the Scotland Bravehearts, Anthony McDonald's men, next week, before taking on one of the toughest challenges of the tour against Jack Hull and the Island Wolfhounds. It is an action-packed week of footy next week. International footy doesn't stop on SRL TV. Final few minutes of the game. Malchus in the way. Who cares? Play on. Australia just want to get this game over and done with. And it'll be interesting to see if the Kangaroos maintain the same team list for next game. Whether or not some changes might be on the cards, but a minute and a half left. The Kangaroos will walk away with a win here in France. Sonny Tyre, first win as a Kangaroos captain, and it feels oh so good. Feels good. Plenty of work to do. 5 games left in the tour, with New Zealand awaiting Australia in the final leg in Aotearoa, New Zealand, just a few weeks away. Time winding down, and the Kangaroos will finish this one off. Plenty of Aussies that have made the trip here to France, and a big smile on their faces for tonight. The job is done for Australia. First win on the board. Hoping to get 2 more next week. 80 minutes is up. Full time, the siren goes. 40-12. I think that was the score. I'm probably wrong. Or was it 40-16? I'll wait for the scoreboard to pop up. I'm too excited, but good to get the win here for the Kangaroos. 40-12, full-time score. TBC Live stats. Pretzel, your thoughts on that game?
Yeah, I mean, like, just having a look at the stats there, the possession obviously skewed more towards Australia, a lot more errors for the EU side, and they did quite a few more tackles and had a few more missed tackles. So I guess the stats, and 4 penalties conceded as well. So I guess these team stats do kind of really speak out volumes about what actually happened in that game. I definitely think next week they do need to tidy up some things, especially in the middle in terms of their pass selection. I think that let them down a fair bit tonight. A couple of interceptions they threw, and discipline as well. They got a sin bin warning in the last couple of minutes there. So yeah, a couple little things to tidy up, but I'm sure EU will bounce back strong next week.
Yeah, the errors and the penalties costing them. Missed tackles as well. Only 13 for Australia, so it was pretty good performance defensively. But we'll go over to the player stats, starting with the home side, EU brethren. Igor Maikazi leading the run leaders, 133, 2 line breaks as well. Marcus Square, 132 from fullback. A try to his name, curler of a try at that. Lennox Prakash in the props, finishing out lock, 20 tackles, 2 missed, 4 line breaks, 131 run meters. Callow, guys, hell yeah, all over the century mark, and a try to hell yeah in that one as well. Well deserved. Him and Marcus, the 2 try scorers for the EU, but we'll scroll over for the Kangaroos. Kane Chapman Kenny, 8 shy of 300 tonight, 16 tackles, 0 missed, 8 line breaks with a try. James Thorne over the 200 mark, 26, 0 missed, 2 try assists and 6 conversions on the night. Hongston against his former international team, a try tonight. What a split try it was too, splitting the defense. Sonny Tyre over 150 run meters. Oh man, it did not feel like that, but it did feel like a 3-error performance. Standard Tyre game. Corey Bell off the wing. Try assist. Butterfield, Cox, Walmsley, K Lord all over the century mark for run meters. Xavier Demando only 70, but his contributions tonight went a long way. Your final thoughts on this game, Fetler, before we finish things off?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, a strong Australian side ended up bouncing back. EU, definitely a lot to work on, but definitely a bright future ahead. Especially having the fact that Snicko is still involved with the team, it can definitely give Hell Yeah and the new leadership a hand there and bouncing back and trying to strengthen this team going forward.
Yeah, and it'll be interesting to see how they bounce back against the Mediterranean in that rivalry test match next week. But full time, 40-12, the Kangaroos get the job done, first W of the tour. And next week, we will be back for more international footy on SRL TV. But until then, everyone, enjoy the rest of your week. Stay safe, look after yourselves. And alongside myself, Sonny Tyre, here with my good mate, Josh Petlove. Privilege as always. See you guys next time, right here on SRL TV. Go Australia.